Welcome everyone to another episode of Billionaire's Beginnings. In the last episode, we made $10 million with some new money grinds this week. And in this episode, we're going to continue that money grind so that we could eventually purchase something special at the end of this episode for a whopping $10 million. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So in the last episode, we left off with just over $4 million in cash, which means we have to make over $5 million in this episode. And of course, the first thing we did was the Cayo Perico heist. This took us 1 hour because I've started to figure out how to properly use the oppressor when going through the setup missions. I'll talk more about that in a later episode, but it took us 1 hour and we made $1.3 million. We used our same method, used the long fin, go stealth. Everything worked out perfectly. We got the elite challenge, and that was the first hour of our money grind. The next section of the money grind was made up of auto shop contracts because they are triple money this week in GTA 5 Online, which is incredible, truly. It is now a better money grind to do these than to even do the Cayo Perico heist, which is historically the best way to make money solo. So there is one auto shop contract that is better than the rest, and that is the Union Depository contract, which will pay out $900,000, but after fees and cuts and everything, it will end up being about $130,000. But the best part is that it only takes about 30 minutes. If you're very fast, you could do it in 20 minutes. If you're new, it may be closer to 40. So for this episode, I ended up doing a total of 2 of these contracts, earning us about $1.7 million, taking us about an hour of time total. Now, I have talked about these quite a bit in my previous video, so I won't go too in depth on these, but there was a tip that a lot of people were suggesting to me in the comments, which was to go over to the police station in North Los Santos and take the police helicopter to escape the mission, or to lose the cops and then eventually get to the buyer. And I decided to do that, and the first time through, it worked like a charm. All you have to do is get into the helicopter. Now, scaling up the building is a little bit difficult, and you'll see it in this clip right here because it's a little bit tricky. What I would say though is just take your time, slowly go up. The first time I had a little bit of trouble. I didn't know where I was going actually, but I ended up figuring it out, and we got to the helicopter, was able to take off, and all I did was just fly to my destination. If you guys don't know, if you actually just fly to a certain height, cops on the ground won't see you, so you could actually pass over them, technically on your minimap, over their cone of vision, and because you're high enough, they won't spot you and you can get away that way. So that's exactly what I did. I just started flying towards the dealer that we had to drop off the gold to, and it worked perfectly. Lost the cops, was able to arrive safely, and made the money. And I did that for both times, and it worked like a charm. So thank you everybody for leaving that suggestion in the comment section down below. So like I said, we did 2 of those, but of course there is a cooldown every time you do these auto shop contracts, and there are 7 other contracts that we could do. And the beauty of them is that you could do them all back to back to back. So you can't do the same one over and over and over again because there is a cooldown per contract, but there isn't a cooldown on all the contracts in general. So I could go and run a Union Depository contract and then go and run another one. And the 2 that I was alternating between was the bank contract and the agency deal. These are just 2 that I really have a lot of fun with. The bank contract is so simple that in this video, in one of my runs, I completed it in about 16 minutes. Yes, I made $500,000 in about 16 minutes. The finale was 11 minutes and the setup was like 4. That is crazy. It is crazy that we could make this much money in that little time, and I will share the one trick that I learned to make this process so much faster. Because if you've done the contract before, you may be wondering, how is that even possible when your finale was 10-11 minutes and the second setup mission usually takes 10 minutes to do? Someone mentioned that if you start up that prep, go in, get the signal jammers, deliver it to the first bank. Now, deliver it to the bank that you're closest to, the bank that you're going to hit up first, because that will give you a head start for the finale. But once you've done that, you've jammed one of these signal boxes, you could actually just join a new session, set the spawn location for the auto shop, join a new session, and it completes the mission for you. You don't even have to wait for it. which is awesome. So the first setup mission takes maybe 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes if you have like an oppressor, which is what I have. The second setup mission takes, once again, about 2 minutes, and then the finale takes like 10. Wow. Anyways, that is right now my second favorite contract to do. And then, like I said, I also did the agency deal just because I find it a little bit entertaining. I may switch that up in the future. But in total for this episode, I ended up doing 2 bank contracts, of course, for $1 million, taking a total combined time of like 40 minutes. And then I did 1 agency deal, which once again, that one took about 25 minutes and made us $500,000. So at this point in the money grind, we had made about $4.5 million and we had only spent 3 hours grinding. It was maybe just over 3 hours, which is mind-boggling. So make sure you get on these auto shop contracts this week while they're still triple money. Now it is time to talk about some of the other businesses that we ran in the meantime. So first off, with the nightclub, I made sure the popularity was maxed out, and that earned us $250,000 during the recording of last episode and this episode. So we collected that about halfway through the process. And then later on, we also did our first ever Acid Lab sale. We did that. We sold all of our stock for $335,000 in an invite-only session. I'm not messing with public sessions right now. And that took us about 10 minutes, which wasn't too difficult. We also then went and sold some of our stock to a street dealer. And the final 2 things that we did was collect $100,000 from the wall safe at the nightclub and complete our first nightclub sale mission, which we ended up selling about $600,000 worth of product. I know I always say wait till you sell $1 million, but I wanted to do this for the first time on the channel. And of course, I had a bunch of comments in one of the videos talking about how I bought the wrong location or the worst one. And usually it doesn't matter. I've done dozens of sale missions for the nightclub and have never had an issue with that location. And of course, the first one for this series, we got the delivery location at literally the complete opposite end of the map, a full like 8.5 miles, plus we had enemies on us the entire time. So that was not fun, but we got it done. We got our money, and that there made us the $10 million, all those things combined in about like what, 4, maybe 4.5 hours of grinding. So that was great, but now it was time to purchase quite possibly the dumbest thing you could buy in the entire game. And is it really that dumb? I don't know. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But the main reason why I say that is because it has literally zero utility. Even the $10 and $15 million gold aircrafts in the game, at least they get you places. Like, you could fly in them and stuff. This just sits in the water. And yes, we purchased a yacht. And not just any yacht. No. We purchased the most expensive yacht you can. We also got the gold railings and fittings on the entire thing and decked it out. And this cost us about $9.5 million. Now, you may be wondering, why would I spend our hard-earned money on a yacht when, like I said, it doesn't do anything for us? Well, to be completely honest, I thought it would just be a cool idea for a video, but I think buying this yacht actually teaches a very important lesson, and that is that it is okay sometimes to buy things that we like, that we think is cool. I think this yacht is cool to have. Do we need it? No. Will it make us more money, or will it make us more rich and make things more efficient in the game for us? No, but we had the money, I could buy it. And I think that's an important thing to understand, is that in this game, even sometimes in life, it's okay sometimes to just buy things that you enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think where the line has to be drawn, and where one thing we have to understand, is that it is important to know that these aren't necessities. We don't need to buy stuff like this. And this is when I'm transferring this over to real life as well. We don't need these luxury items. We may want them sometimes, but we have to understand that we don't need them. If you can afford them and you like it truly, go for it. Who cares? But we shouldn't feel like we need them to flex or to have a status symbol. You know, in this game, that could be the Galaxy Super Yacht. In real life, that could be clothes, a cool car, all that kind of stuff. So enjoy what you enjoy what you like, but understand that we don't need certain things. We don't need everything that's out there. just have fun, have a good time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.